Welcome back to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while staying connected and loving on each other. Are you ready for our first episode back as a dynamic duo? We recorded a couple of Patreon episodes before this, so the full excitement was captured there. But boy howdy, do we have an episode for you. Before we get to that, let's do a Patreon shout out. This goes out to Kathy A. Kathy, you are descended from the Hippocampus, half horse, half sea creature, who was often depicted pulling Poseidon's chariot. Like the Hippocampus, you're graceful and agile, if not always physically, definitely mentally. Your conversations flow due to your creativity, imagination, and easy empathy. Your pack animal ancestor of old was known to live deep in the ocean, away from the tumult of the surface, and likewise, you crave time in your refuge to recharge, soaking up the tranquility and loyalty of relationships in your inner circle. Sailors considered the hippocampus a good omen because they were a gentle, caretaking creature. Those qualities are reflected in your deep, soulful eyes, while the sparkle and fine laugh lines are a reflection of the joy you have in the choices you've made. And today we're doing our roundup of what we read during maternity leave. So here we go with a semi-rapid fire rundown. Let's do it. Hi, Erin.
Hello, Melody.
How the hell are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Back in action.
We're back and better than ever. Oh my gosh.
Are we better than ever?
You know what? Who the fuck knows? I guess we're going to find out.
Let's just resolve to be.
Ooh.
You know what?
Indeed.
You know what?
What's up?
Now, 2019, post-maternity leave.
Yeah.
We're going to be professionals.
Oh.
And we're going to listen, listener. We're going to stop making mistakes.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk over each other anymore.
Erin.
And we're going to remember the names of the characters.
Whoa.
And the titles.
Nope, I don't.
And the authors.
Probably not.
It's probably going to fall apart just within this episode. But isn't it a nice thought?
Yeah, just like every resolution, we can say it out loud and then tell it to fuck off.
Yeah, isn't it a beautiful thought?
Uh-huh. You know what? We are professionals. We're just our own beautiful brand of professionality.
See, I like to think we are professionals just in different careers.
Maybe.
I am a professional, just not at this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so how the fuck was your maternity leave, Erin?
How was my maternity leave?
Yeah, how was it? Tell me everything.
It was okay. It was fine. I went to Hawaii, as you know. Went to Kauai, did paddle boards, did hikes, did a luau, went to a luau, saw the guy do the fire.
Did you eat that pig?
Ate a pig, yeah. Slightly better than the pig we made last summer. Pig roast.
Hey, wait, I have a question. Do you like poi?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, good. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually split on howlies, whether or not we like it.
I think it's split based on if you're doing it right. That's what I think. I think people are just like shoving that in their mouth with a spoon. I think that's what's happening. And people are like, this isn't like grits.
So
whereas it is a lot like grits.
What's your opinion
on... It makes the flavor of the thing that you're eating.
Oh, yeah, totally. You
know?
So what's your opinion on doing it right? How does one do it right?
Well, I don't think you're supposed to eat it alone. You're supposed to eat it with other stuff, right? That's what they told us at the place.
It's most certainly a side.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in the same bite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think people are trying to eat it like tapioca pudding, and they're like, this isn't sweet. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the problem.
All right, so, listener, if you can hear a little bit of kvetching in the background, if you can hear a little bit of Winosaurus Rex in the background, that is the reason for my maternity leave. We've got Valor in the studio with us today, and she is refusing to sleep, which is very charming and not at all annoying.
Oh, wait. Are you being sarcastic?
Well, why don't we just leave it up to the listener to decide that, shall we?
All right.
Yeah, she's really friggin' cute, though. I'll tell you that much.
Is she?
Yeah.
What you should do is you should take her out of her sleeper thing and hold her up to the camera so that I can see what she looks like. Is that a good idea right now or a bad idea?
I don't want to do that because she needs to go to sleep. And so instead, I'll just take the camera to her. Yeah, here's
This is the first time I'm seeing the rest of this room.
It's a Valor.
Oh my God.
Her eyes are closed. Update, everybody. Her eyes are closed. Okay.
Yeah, they're closing. They're closing.
Excellent.
They're closing.
See, I knew it was going to happen. It's just taking longer than I anticipated.
Can I just say, if you remember when we did the Patreon episode where you told me all the gory details of how a baby is made?
Oh boy, do I. It's one of the highlights of my life.
Do you remember when you said that she came out and then you held her and she smelled like your brand and I cringed for a good 10 solid minutes about how your baby smelled like your vagina and that's what you liked about her?
Yep.
Now that's all I can think of when I look at your baby. So that's good.
She smells like my amniotic fluid.
Yeah, like I'm going to meet her. She's going to be 10 years old and I'm going to be like, I don't really want to touch you because
I know what that came from.
Yeah, now I can't stop thinking about it.
You know what?
She looks cute, though.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, she's pretty great. I'm pretty enamored. And I love that I spend a ton of my day actively trying to get her to fart, usually on me. And I love it. Like it is surreal. It is simultaneously surreal and super satisfying.
Is that not all babies?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if it was a new experience for you.
No. That's just a newborn thing because they don't know how to do anything. So
you're teaching her how to fart?
I am. I rub her tummy
sweet. And
I bicycle her little legs. And
oh my God.
we really work through it together. She and I, we're a team in all things.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Erin, I have a question for you.
Yes.
And that is, what did you read when you didn't have a mandatory reading list? Or did you read?
Not a ton.
Yeah, good for you.
I didn't really do it right. Well, so when did you have the baby? Like December something?
December 29th. Yes. It was the morning of December 29th. It was, she finally came out at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, so like right around the time you had that baby, I started reading A Court of Wars and the last one.
A Court of Wings and Ruin?
No, the last one. Is that the last one?
That's the last one.
Okay, yeah. 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 So
actually, Erin, wait, you started it then?
Yeah.
I was finishing it then.
Yeah, I know. You were ahead of me, which is crazy because you were behind me.
I was.
When you were having the baby. So, like, you did some serious reading in that, like, hospital.
Yep.
But anyway, so I read that on the plane to and fro Hawaii.
Ooh.
And, well, it's just like 700 pages. Not like
no, it's a big one.
Sucked up a lot of my maternity leave.
Yeah.
Then I read a 70-page novella, and that is the end of my reading story for your maternity leave.
That's really exciting.
I'm sorry.
No.
I was just, it was kind of nice to just relax. I feel like a lot of times with the books we read, I'm like rushing to get them done in a week, which I know I just heard like 300 gasps at least from people who read a book a day that listen to this because I know you're out there. But like, I don't know. I'm not like a 1 book a week reader. I'm like a 1 a month, 2 a month, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of reader. Because a lot of times when I'm going to bed, I'm like fucking tired and I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, definitely.
It's hard.
And we really bit off a lot when we decided to start the podcast. And we were like, oh yeah, a book a week, no probs. And sometimes it is no probs. Other times I'm frantically attempting to finish because, life happens. Yeah. And frankly, Erin, I really, really support the fact that you took a little break. You deserved it.
Took a little reading break.
Yeah.
Small one.
Yeah. Because you read a lot for your actual job, too.
Yeah, it was so just kind of nice not to have any assigned books. But then I read this novella. Well, I had to read the book that Liz and I did because we tagged another week onto the maternity leave. So I felt like I did read a fair amount, but it was just all books. It was Akawar and then all the books we had to read, coming up. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually,
what did you read?
I can thank Sarah J. Maas for, well, that's not true. I put Valor on the list of names really early on. We had a long, long list of names. We always do. And then, much to the annoyance of everyone in our lives, we generally spend time with the babies before we actually name them. So everybody's always asking, like, what's the name? What's the name?
Incredible anxiety. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Well, see, and I don't understand. I don't fault people for it or anything, but I don't really understand naming a person before you've met them. You know what I mean?
I guess I kind of get it, but like,
yeah, like I met her in the womb, but it's not the same as interacting with her and getting a feel for her vibe and her aura. Shut your mouth.
So in the first 3 days of her life, what did she do that was like seriously brave? Like, did you test out her sword skills or any kind of?
What? One of the things.
One put her through any trials?
Yeah, she went
through. I'm being a snarky bitch.
No, you're not. Are you ready? She went through my vaginal canal in less than 30 minutes. I don't know what is braver than that.
See, I feel like it's more brave to like take longer in your vaginal canal.
No, that just means you're worse at it. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding.
I'm going to tell Ember you said that someday where he's old enough to be real grossed out by that.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, hey, guess what your mom said?
He'd be like, she pushed for 40 minutes with you. She only pushed
minutes.
And that's like, I didn't know I'm on the way lower end of the spectrum when it comes to first time babies. But anyway, so
you never completed the thought. Why do you think that Sarah J. Maas has anything to do with this? Because I asked you on text if you were going to name the baby Feyre or Reason, because I didn't know what the sex was either.
Yeah. No, because I spent the days leading up to her birth. I spent the morning laboring in the tub, reading A Court of Wings and Ruin. And that whole thing is just filled with people that are facing enormous obstacles and braving them. You know what I mean? So then when I met her, we had a few names on the top of the list.
I want to know these other names. Are you going to tell? Are you going to reveal them to the world ever?
Yeah, Michael really liked Paxson because apparently the root word is peace in Latin. And then the second one for me was Haven. But I think that's way more punk rock on a boy. So yeah. I didn't want that for a girl because I feel like everybody makes girls be the havens for everybody else's problems. So I didn't like that for a girl. And then we went back and forth. And yeah, I think you picked the right one. Yeah, I think so too. Like she's awesome. And I don't know. I'm into it. So anyway, I was very much in the mindset of like badass women staring down the barrel of world destruction and like making it work. And so
and Nesta didn't make the list.
No, Nesta did not. No, this bitch is gonna chop wood when I ask her to. That's what she's gonna do. She is going to be a productive member of this family. God damn it.
Okay, Nesta we need to save this. We need to save this. We need to stamp it down. Sorry. Like we have been for 3 months now.
I know it's
2
so
months,
hard.
3 months. I don't know. It's so hard.
I know. Okay, so what did I read over maternity leave? I read right before Christmas. I read Merry Inkmas, which is a novella by Talia Hibbert. Just FYI, listener.
Oh, wait.
And everyone.
Okay. What? I was going to interrupt you, and then you interrupted yourself.
We are professionals, Erin.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I think it's been going pretty good so far.
No, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
Oh, shit.
I talked about reading Merry Inkmas.
I just wanted to say, part of the reason, I also did read the books that you read with Tanya and Jenny, and that was during your maternity leave, because I didn't hear the episodes until then. So I also read those. So I think I had it pretty good. But then again, these are not things I can talk about on the podcast.
But it's also very Erin for me to be like, Erin, the world is your oyster. Go and read all the things. And you being like, I still have a rubric.
Fair. Yeah. Anyway, all right. You said FYI something.
Now I forgot what I was
Talia Hibbert novella.
Yeah.
Inkmas.
Merry Inkmas. Oh, yeah. I went down a bit of a Talia Hibbert rabbit hole, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. But yeah, so Mary Inkmas was one of them. And it's all about this like barista, and there's a guy who comes in all the time, and he always asks her to surprise him. And then she gets fired because she gives tea to a homeless man that she, is like friends with.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy gives her a job. And then we find out that
the homeless man?
No.
I was going to say, that guy should get a home. He can afford one.
No.
He should go get one.
The guy, the hero of the story, gives her a job as a receptionist at his tattoo parlor.
But how does she meet him? How does she meet him, though?
How does she meet the hero?
Yeah.
He sees her one day through the coffee shop window, is like, I like the look of all of that, and then proceeds to come in every day for like a month or more.
Okay. So he just saw her in the coffee shop.
Yeah. Okay. And then it goes from there, and it is delicious. So I read that, and then I read A Girl Like Her, which is another Talia Hibbert. It's the first in her Ravenswood series.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a small town romance, I think, is the...
I have heard such mixed reviews on it, and I'm so excited.
I don't know what anybody could possibly say that is mixed about this book.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, why? I know that I'm going to read. What was the other one we had mixed reviews? Oh, it was A Princess in Theory. And I was like, how could anyone not like this book? I knew it was going to be like that.
Explain yourself, haters. No, so this thing is wonderful.
This is the one where he's like the nanny or something. Is that one? No,
that's okay. Sorry. So I know why people do. I also read the second one in the series, Untouchable, and that I can understand why people give mixed reviews on, and I think you would give mixed reviews on it as well.
Oh, interesting.
Because so A Girl Like Her is the guy's her neighbor, and he works for who we find out is her old flame, and she is neurodiverse. She's autistic, and he hates the way she eats. He sees her like get a cup of noodle or something one day. And so he's like, I'm going to make you food. And she won't accept that. And so he sets up this deal where...
He hates the way she eats junk food, or he hates like watching her eat?
No. He doesn't like that. He thinks she's like not taking care of herself.
Got it. Okay.
And he's a nurturer. That, P.S., you guys, is an absolutely delicious Slytherin Hufflepuff romance. That she's the Slytherin.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. One could argue she's like a Slytherin with Ravenclaw rising, but I really think she's a Slytherin. Anyway.
We all know that rising houses are just something you say to Tanya to be nice when she thinks that she's a Ravenclaw.
No, that's not true.
I almost did a spit take when I heard that on you and Tanya's podcast. I was like, this bitch is in such denial about her Gryffindor art.
She really is.
Anyway,
wasn't I
diplomatic?
I was very diplomatic. Yeah.
Yes.
I think I did a good job.
Lost my shit. I'm like, how could I not? I'm like yelling at the podcast alone in my bathroom. It was
now you know what it feels like to be a listener.
Yeah, it was very well. Anyway, I'll let you finish your book, then we can talk about what it was to listen.
Yeah, so that is amazing. The emotional arc is so incredible, and it has so many layers which involve her past. She's sort of a pariah in the town, and you don't know why. There's a wonderful reveal about why at the end, and like how that has impacted her greater family. There's not only like a love story with the hero, but there's also a love story with her sister. Her sister is the heroine of book 2. And it's just fabulous. So yeah, it's wonderful. And then Untouchable, here's why you would probably have a hard time. The hero ends up being the dude she's nannying for.
Okay, that's the problem. I'm merging these two books together. In the first book, is that heroine like a curvy heroine?
All of them are, yeah.
All of them. I think I just thought these two books were the same book because I was thinking there was a Talia Hibbert book out there about like a neurodivergent nanny or so, like there was some kind of like housework component to it. So I just merged them two together in my head.
Yeah.
Then I don't know which one I heard mixed reviews about.
Well, it's a boss and an employee.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are like, power dynamic.
Oh, I
didn't have a problem with it because they grapple so much with the power dynamic, and both of them are so aware of it and they do their best to, deal with that. So I didn't have a problem with it because it didn't seem like there was a power dynamic, simply because they have a sort of a small history. They've known each other since school. Mm-hmm. And then B, because he especially is so squeaked out over his attraction to her and he fights it so hard. So I didn't have an issue with it, but I'm sure other people would.
That sounds to me like I might not either. I only have a problem with workplace things when like they don't do their jobs and it's like...
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's like Crimson Mountain where the children are just like stabbing themselves with butcher knives and like trying to cut carrots and like spilling boiling water all over the floor. They're like, we don't know what to do. We're so hungry. We haven't eaten in days. It's like, how endearing. You guys, Christmas on Crimson Mountain is, I think, our least listened to episode.
I know.
And it is a fucking hidden gem. I love that episode. Like, this is a shameless self-promotion, but you guys, I love that episode. I hated that heroine and that hero, and man, it's not like a hate read. I just, we had some good zingers in that one.
We really did, yeah.
Anyway,
we really did. Okay, so then... I decided, I saw on Twitter, Talia Hibbert always gets me on Twitter. A lot.
Like 20?
No.
God damn it.
So then I read her Just for Him complete series. That's 3 novellas all packed into one. All of the people are, all of the heroes and heroines are people you've met before, usually. And I was going to recap the last one in that one, but then I decided that there's too many spoilers for the first novella. So I couldn't do
guys,
it.
We're going to talk about a bunch of books and then we're going to do a deep dive into 2 of them.
Yeah.
For me, the only one that I read that you guys didn't. For Melody, she's going to pick one.
Yeah. Okay. That is awesome. The first one is another workplace. He's a boss and he's an older gentleman. Not like old. He's like 40, I think. And she's a new designer. She works at his company, but they don't work. She's not. He's not her boss. He's just like way, way up in the company. So anyway, that's delicious. And that is sort of a suspense situation because she's essentially being stalked the whole time and you don't know who it is. And like,
Yikes.
There's a whole, like the climactic end is really, really crazy. It's a whole lot. So that is wonderful. And then the second one in that one is about a retired ballerina.
We're not going to have any Talia Hibbert books left to read on the podcast.
Sorry.
You're going to have read them all, and then we're not going to be able to do anymore. This sucks.
No, that's not true.
Anyway,
I will read all of them again. I probably will read them all again.
All right. Okay, good.
Yeah. She's turned into an auto buy for me. Like, doesn't matter. I don't care what she's doing. I don't care what the premise is. If she writes I will read it. Okay. And then the last one is the hero he's this Greek ex-footballer. He's like World Cup status footballer. And she's actually the best friend from the first book.
So this is soccer.
That's the one. Yep.
Okay.
Also, a side note, the other day I asked Ember, I was like, do you want this pouch or this pouch? And he points to one of them and he goes, that's the one. So apparently I say it a lot more than just on the podcast. All right.
Maybe Ember is a listener.
Oh, maybe
Have you considered the fact that Ember may be our one listener?
What a sneaky little devil. Sweet Lord, I hope not. That's gonna be a weird chat that we have later on in life. I'm going to have to come out to him like romance novelists do.
Yep.
All right.
Only you've used your real name.
I've used my real name.
Yep.
Good job, Melody. Good luck, Ember. Okay. Oh, yeah. So then the last one is sort of he concocts this scheme of forced proximity because he wants to be near her always, and he hires her as like a girlfriend beard because when he's bisexual, it's so good. So man, Just for Him complete series, I devoured it. It was amazing. And one of the things I love about Talia Hibbert is that she puts content warnings at the beginning of each of her books.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, if there is something that squeaks you out, probably from the beginning, because she does really benign things too, like well, I can't think of a really benign thing at the moment.
How about cupcake batter in bed? Would that be one
No, I don't remember that content.
No, she wouldn't put that at the... Oh, man. See, that's like the only one I need. I need to know two things. Food in the sheets.
Mm-hmm. And
masquerade masks.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're fucked there. But... Oh, one of them that I thought was really fairly benign was in the last one, there's a content warning for depictions of therapy, which to me, I'm sure there is a person that could be triggered by depictions of therapy, but I can't figure out how or why. You know what I mean? So it's cool like that she's so conscientious about things like that. Anyway, okay. So then Erin, I read Dare to Love a Duke by Eva Leigh. And oh my God, it is an England Times deliciousness.
Wait, may I ask you why?
Yeah. Why did I read it?
Well, I don't mean like, why'd you read that? Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that's not an author that rings a bell or one that like I've noticed on our list or has been tweeted on.
You're
like,
so
where
right.
did you find it?
Well, I think I'm going to add it to the list because it is amazing and it
Fine
needs
by
more
me.
traction.
I was just wondering who recommended it or what.
Oh, you know
By
what it
way
was?
you came upon this gem.
So there was a bit of a kerfuffle in Romancelandia Twitter because someone for Smart Bitches did a review. And
is this the sex worker one?
Yeah, it's sex worker adjacent, but yes.
But this is the one that Jenny got into it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So Jenny texted me, and then I was
This is Jenny Nordbak of Wicked Wallflowers.
Mm-hmm. And so we were texting about it, and then I was just going on Twitter and everything, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to read this because what I found striking about the review is that, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it was like, the emotional arc makes a ton of sense. The hero and the heroine are wonderful for each other, but she's a sex worker, he's a duke, period. Nope, period. And I was like, well, if all of that makes sense, then why nope? Like, is it really just the fact that she's not like highborn or whatever? She's also a foreigner. Which
we know that's what dukes are looking for. They're looking for like a low-born, like a destitute, like diamond in the rough.
Right. Especially if they're from another country with a slight
like
accent.
A clumsy, yes, that's what dukes are. They're looking to save you, these dukes. So
yeah, so I mean I kind of understand where she was coming from. It was sort of clumsily written. But anyway, it made total sense to me. And then there were a bunch of clapbacks on Twitter that were like, here is a person who became a countess that was the seamstress before.
I saw this whole Twitter war.
Yeah.
Oof, guys, we don't want to get involved in these. These are so scary. Like, they give me such anxiety when Romancelandia is mad.
I know, me too.
You guys, everybody be cool. Just be friends. We like all of you.
So anyway, that is amazing. Yeah, it's sex worker adjacent. He doesn't mind that she used to be a sex worker. She's not anymore. Right now, she's the manager of a pleasure club. So every once in a while, she might bed like someone.
The owner.
Yeah, well, yeah, she runs it. There is a twist about the owner, which is really delicious.
But I kind of like it that she's like a madam. And I like that.
Yeah.
It's good. Is this the one you're recapping?
No.
Oh,
don't worry.
You're such a
That's a full novella. That's a full that's a full novel. I'm not doing that. We don't have time for that. Okay. Then I read. Okay, so all right. Here's the other thing that happened. I was toward the end of my pregnancy, I was reading. I'm a pretty monogamous reader. I usually like to start and finish a book and then move on to the next one. I couldn't feel the right tone leading up to my delivery because honestly, nothing was making me happy. I was so uncomfortable.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah. That's actually when I started going down the Talia Hibbert rabbit hole because turns out that works for me no matter
I'm glad
how
that
upset
Talia
I am.
could make you happy because I certainly couldn't.
Shut your mouth.
Thanks, Talia, for being a better friend of Melanie than me.
That's not
kidding,
true.
Guys. I'm just kidding. I don't know why I said that. I don't even think I pissed you off. Like, I don't know why.
No, you didn't. Not to mention that I think you randomly called me when I was in the middle of a meltdown and you totally talked me off of my emotional ledge. It was great. Actually, I just needed to vent and I didn't know who to vent to. That was one of my favorite things that happened in our conversation. I was like, thank you so much, Erin. I just really needed an impartial person to talk to. And she goes, I am not impartial. And I was like, no, you're right. I just needed a person who was firmly on my side to talk to.
I'm Team Melody. Who do you think this is? I mean, I sometimes do not take your side and when you're like, I just need to vent. And I'm like, no, Melody, you were super wrong. Like sometimes I do that, but I'm still Team Melody.
And I have done that to you. That's, that's one of the reasons we work is that we're opposites, but we're still very caring about it.
But what I love is like, I called you because I called you for a reason. Like I needed to talk to you about something. I don't remember what it was at this point, but and you were like, I'm so glad you called. I needed to vent with you about this issue. And then when you were done, I was like, okay, but I called for a reason. It was I called my lunch break, and I have, I think, 30 seconds left. Oh, it was the reading embrace.
Yeah,
and you were like, yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I was like, if you're heading it up, then cool. Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Oh man. Okay.
Man.
All right. So then I read Fair, Bright, and Terrible by Elizabeth Kingston. It is a medieval times book. I actually did a post about it in the cult because so many people were asking us about the reading embrace and being like, if this situation is happening, can we do this category? And we keep on being like, guys, our answer is always going to be yes, even if it's medieval times and you ask about an alien romance. Like, it's an embrace.
Don't care.
We don't care.
It occurs to me we have not talked at all about the HB reading embrace on the podcast. So if there are people out there that do not have social media, they don't know anything about it. If you don't have social media, I don't know if you'd want to do it because it's kind of social media. Like, there's a component of it.
I mean, but it's not. Media, you can still just print out the thing and have it for your very own.
So here's the thing, guys.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I interrupt you for this?
No.
All right.
So the HB reading embrace. This is
the HB
Erin's
reading embrace
brainchild from start to finish, and she's amazing. So Erin, take it away.
Well, so my first idea, Christmas is happening and blah, blah, blah. And I was seeing all these reading challenges go up. Like, Romanceopoly is one. Smart Bitches has one. There's probably 50 romance reading challenges for like, how much books can you read in 2019 and track them and blah, blah, blah. And, a lot of us are Ravenclaws, I feel like, in the romance reading community and thrive on the idea of I'm going to track my reading and I'm going to make goals and blah, blah, blah. But I think also it creates a lot of anxiety as well.
This Hufflepuff can't handle it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I think there are a lot of Hufflepuffs as well that it's just like, no. And probably a lot of Slytherins like me that are like just cramming those ping pong balls into that jar and like they just can't. And I've only met two other romance reading Gryffindors, so I know you're out there, but I think you're a minority. One's in the cult and the other one's Tanya.
Yeah. So Tanya's also in the cult.
I know, but like those are the two. One is just a cult person that I know through the cult, and then the other one's Tanya. And if you're out there, cult member, and you're like, is she talking about me? The answer is yes, because you are alone. You're the only Gryffindor. Anyway, so I was thinking like maybe we could try to do one of these reading challenges in our podcast and be like, we're doing Romanceopoly this year. So all of our books will work in this thing. So I'm like, I've got the list up and I'm trying to highlight the ones that fit and I'm trying to change all the order around. And it became like an all afternoon project, and I was just like tying myself in knots, and I was like, and I was finding problems that not problems with Romanceopoly, but that I personally had, because I'm like, there's too much historical and there's not enough sci-fi. And actually, I think that one was very like fantasy YA based, and I was like, well, we have all these historicals we want to read, and I was like panicking.
Yeah.
And so first I called you being like, do you want to do Romanceopoly? And you're like, whatever, I don't care. I'm so pregnant. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, no, let's do our own. And I mentioned it to HB Karen, who I was doing like messaging with, and she was like, ooh, yes, that's what I want you to do. And I was like, okay. So I called you and you're like, sure. So this is the HB reading embrace, in which we've taken, I think it's 14 or so.
It's more than that, but it's
something like somewhere in there. Key phrases that we say often on the podcast, things like werves, things like keeping a badass, lady love, whatever. And we've made a list of them. And as long as you tie something that you read this year, could it be a reread? could be a new read, doesn't fucking matter, to each one of those phrases and explain to us the cockamamie way that you've related it to the phrase. You win. You're the winner.
Right.
And people keep like coming up on the cult and being like, what does this one mean? What podcast is it? I don't know if this one fits and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine if like, that's kind of the fun is
we
fitting
love
it in.
chatting with you about it. However, you're still treating it like a challenge.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Honestly, if you send us an email I think what we'll do is we'll have everybody email us in what they picked for each one. And then we're going to like announce everybody on the podcast that quote unquote completed it.
Yeah.
So say you're like, I only read one book this year and here's how it fits in with all of these phrases and it's fucking ridiculous and it's like words because probably this person had a wolf t-shirt on, I think, in my imagination when I was reading it. Fine. If you've got an alien book that you want to jam into medieval times because you think it was the medieval times in that alien
of
world.
Aliendom?
Fine. We don't care. We don't care. Now, if you're just asking, like a lot of people are like, where is like one of them is, does he got reasons?
Yeah.
And that's from when I decided that like things like tax evasion I can't deal with.
Right.
Or like squatting on Forest Service land or
it's untenable.
Hacking into the NSA.
Right.
But if you're a murderer with
do you got reasons?
I kind of like a murderer as long as they've got reasons. That's what that one is from. But somebody on the cult explained today that they think that he or she got reasons means like, do they have reasons to stop the relationship or like do bad stuff?
Works for me.
Yep. Fine. Doesn't.
That's good.
You guys, it doesn't matter. So
and
that's
we mean
on
that
our website.
In the most supportive way.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't care about the thing. We love this thing. But we want you to feel free to make it work for you.
Yeah. We just want to hang out and chat with you on the internet about what you're reading. And so far that's been working. So that's all we want.
Exactly.
So if you want to do it, you go to our website, heavingbosoms.com. And if you click the drop-down menu, 2019 HB Reading Embrace is one of the options. If you go there, it'll explain the embrace. And then there's a printable, like a Word document printable that you can print out that has all the categories and you can write them in. And if you take pictures or tweet or whatever and you tag it HB Reading Embrace, we're trying to like repost a lot of those so that everyone can see what everyone's doing.
Yeah, and you can just search the hashtag because people are being really awesome about hashtagging. Yeah,
HB Reading Embrace.
So why don't I do a little demo of how you can make the HB Reading Embrace work for you? Shall I?
Yeah.
All right, so I read Fair, Bright, and Terrible by Elizabeth Kingston.
Is this your recap?
No.
No. Jesus Christ, how many fucking books did you read?
Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after this one.
Okay.
Yep. And then
is one of those your recap?
No, the sixth one is
melody.
Okay. But 2 of them I'm not talking about because 2 of them are A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin. So A Court of Mist and Fury.
Don't brag at me. Don't listen. I see you flexing up there. Don't even.
Okay. Elizabeth Kingston's Fair, Bright, and Terrible. So it's super, super wonderful. I had to put it down and pick it up quite a few times because it is pretty angsty. And leading up to my delivery, couldn't do it. But then afterwards, loved it. Loved it from start to finish. It's wonderful. It is set in the 1300s, right after Wales, the Welsh rebellion is squashed, dunzo. And so, of course, it fits into medieval times. Now, the heroine this is apparently book 2, but I didn't notice that. So you can read it as a standalone. And I've heard the first one's really, really good as well. It's about her daughter. And she's a Welsh noblewoman who's like 40-ish. And her husband, who was a Norman noble dude. Yeah, he dies.
I say that like I have any clue.
I know. I think Norman is just English of medieval times. Because they were all separate. I don't fucking know.
We're professionals now.
We are professionals.
And you definitely set us up to be wrong about that. Like 100%. If you say it on the podcast, you know you're going to be wrong about it. Like, why did you try?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, It's wonderful because this is a second chance romance, and she has the opportunity to marry the guy that she was like super in love with. It was also an affair. She was married when they boned. And so it's also a Slytherin Hufflepuff romance because he is the sweetest cinnamon bun of a Hufflepuff, and she is such a scheming, conniving Slytherin. It's wonderful. Not to mention that they go to the English court for Christmas time. She suggests that they do that because she wants to murder a dude for revenge.
Does she?
Yeah.
Got reasons?
Does she got reasons? Yeah. So there's also a kidnapping, and she has to figure out the kidnapping. Like, it is such a good book. Okay, but I get ahead of myself. Oh no, Valor's waking up. I'm just going to grab her and hopefully it'll be fine. So here are the things I can make it fit into. Medieval times, obviously. Slytherin Hufflepuff love, definitely. Does she got reasons? Because she has so many reasons, you guys. She is so angry. You can also get it into keep being a badass because she is the baddest of asses. And then my favorite one to fit it into...
Just hand her to me. Just hand her to me.
I'm holding Valor right now. And Erin is just reaching for her phone, trying to grab her.
It seems like it's hard for you to put her in the thing that's... Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did you see my boob? Oh no, I put it away.
I saw it in such clear high definition. And oh my god, your nipple is huge.
Yeah, I'm breastfeeding.
My god.
It's the size of the inside of a baby.
So long. What the hell?
I swear I thought I put it off screen. Oh no.
No, it was so on screen. It was...
I'm so sorry.
It was like it zoomed. I don't... God.
Erin, why are you looking at my boobs? You perv.
I've seen them before. It's not...
Well, they looked different then, didn't they?
They looked different.
Yeah, that was pre-breastfeeding, bro.
I'm sorry, you're a beautiful unicorn, and
Thank you.
I'm celebrating your 3-inch long nipples.
Stop it!
Can't. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, we are professionals, and I was talking about the HB reading embrace.
I'm sorry. We tried to be professionals, and then you took your boob out at work, so I don't know. All right.
Okay.
All right. It's the HB reading embrace.
Right. So my favorite one to try to fit it into is Reindeer Mafia. Because she attempts an assassination during Christmas.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Stop looking at my boob.
I can't not. Here's the thing is because I'm not looking at your boob. I'm looking at Valor, who is having so much fun right now. She's just like,
I know.
This is the best.
I know, and she's looking up at me adoringly. It's really sweet.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm not staring at your boob. I'm staring at your baby.
No, that's fine.
Believe
Stare
me,
at my boob
I have
too.
no interest in ever seeing that boob again. I love you and I celebrate you as a woman.
Okay. So, yeah, get back on point. Reindeer, it's maybe the most Reindeer Mafia book because she's murdering a dude at the English court at Christmas time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's very Mafia, very reindeer.
It is. And then the one that is sort of my example of how to make it work for you. If you need a cousin stuff slot.
Oh.
They are at the English court, the olden times English court. There are definitely married cousins. You don't see them on the page, but who the fuck cares? Cousins are doing it all over the place. Put it in there.
Also, one of the HBs on Instagram used the second or third book in the Brothers Sinister series by Courtney Milan. Sebastian's book, is that the atheist cousin? Do you know what I mean? So we've got the Duke that's a virgin is the first one, and then he has the second one is half brother. Yeah, Oliver.
Yes,
And then remember when she goes to
the third one is Sebastian.
Right, yeah. And she goes to the talk where he's talking about Darwin and being an atheist and stuff. His book, he's the first guy's cousin, I think. Right?
Oh, I think so.
Maybe the girl is, or there's a cousin involved there.
She is his cousin.
She is his cousin. Got it. Violet.
Yep, that works.
Is that right?
Cousin stuff. Jam it in.
Yeah, so this girl was like cousin stuff because it's the cousin of the hero in the first book. Boom, done. Cousin stuff. There's a cousin involved. Perfect. Works even if there isn't a cousin involved.
That's true. That's true. All right, so that is that. That is how you make the HB Reading Embrace work for you.
Totally.
Also, read Fair, Bright, and Terrible by Elizabeth Kingston. It is delightful. She does a really good job of doing the medieval times phrasing without you wanting to hit anyone. So
that's a great title too.
Oh yeah. And the cover is beautiful. And I found that book because somebody was in the mood for a particularly stabby heroine, and it was a wreck that came up in that thread. And that's how I was feeling. I was just so stabby toward the end of my...
That's how great romance Twitter is. You just tweet out to all of them, do you have one with a heroine who's stabby? And then you get like 30 wrecks.
Yep.
Oh, it's amazing.
And then, okay, so during that time, I was rereading Jenny Nordbak's The Scarlet Letters, her memoir about working in the dungeon. So good. Still so good. Read it. It's wonderful.
Read it.
It does such a good job of showing not only the antics that go on at the dungeon while she works there, but also weaving in her personal story and the lessons she learned and the epiphanies she came to through that journey. It's wonderful. And there's an HEA.
Incredible. It's a beautiful book by a beautiful woman who has definitely 100% never met Chris Pine.
That's a Patreon callback. I have a theory about a celebrity that she dominates, and I think it might be Chris Pine.
It's not fucking Chris Pine.
I don't know.
He's such an asshole.
Okay. And then, I read Alyssa Cole's The Once Ghosted Twice Shy.
Yeah, was it good?
The novella. Yes, it was. It was good. And you get the whole story of what happened and why.
With Lakotsi and... actually, we never even find out her name in the other one.
Yeah, you do find out this time.
What is it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Being honest with you. You know I'm bad with names. I have to write the names of the hero and heroine at the top of the page on my notes.
Me too. Yep.
If I read it
100%.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Okay. And then Erin, actually not finally, but finally, I read Heart and Hand by Rebel Carter.
I'm reading that now. I just Twittered her about it.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
And we should say, okay, listen. Look and listen.
Uh-oh. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Listen. On the cult, we have many authors, and many of them have said, hey, I have a book that I wrote, and you guys should read it. Or you know what? People seem to have a problem being like, there's a book I wrote, and you guys should read it. They want to ask permission. They want to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If you wrote a book, put it on the cult and make people read it. I don't understand why you're shy. Don't be shy.
Right.
But I've read, I think, most of the ones that at least I've seen. So I don't want to say, we read Rebel Carter's book and no one else's. I've also read all of Mia McAndrews' books, which have been fantastic little holiday novellas.
Yep.
And I can't think right now, but I will try to plug them in later episodes. But I've tried to read them all that are at least like Kindle available. And over the Christmas season, I forgot one. I also read A Kiss for Solstice, which is by another HB, Elizabeth Allen Dean, which was also delicious. It's like MMA fighters, werves. He's a werve, she's a witch. So that's two right there if you're doing the embrace. And fucking crime and Christmas. Well, not Christmas, but solstice. So that's a reindeer mafia for sure. It's great. It's like a witch who's a necromancer, and she brings him back to life on the solstice, and he's a werve now, and it's great. Outstanding.
That sounds awesome.
So that's another. So I don't want to sound like we're like, Rebel Carter, that's the one we're read. No, we've tried to read them all.
Yeah, and most of the time we just have a dedicated reading list and a schedule already. This just happens to be a roundup of what I read, and one of the things
that's one of the things you read. Yeah,
Hand and Heart. or Heart and Hand.
Heart and Hand.
And this is it's really fun because it's a male female menage, and it's also a mail order bride situation, and it's wonderful.
It's in America times.
It is in America.
It's in the old West.
Yeah, I would also say it's in Western times. Is that a thing?
It is both things, I think.
Totally.
And did you say it was a menage?
Yeah. It's a dude lady menage. And normally I don't like it when it's a menage and the dudes don't bone. But this time I really like it because you can see like more of the homosocial romance between the two dudes on the page, and that is really, really lovely. So
did you switch boobs?
Yeah.
Does one like run out?
What?
Does one like run out? Is one of your boobs empty now?
Well, kinda.
Oh, yeah. God. And the other one's still full up, and you just switch it.
Well, she hasn't eaten off of it yet, so it's fuller than the more empty one. Yeah.
I guess I just didn't think of them filling up and being like a like a container. I just thought like it came from, a central location.
Well, it sort of does come from a central location. I don't want to know the
answers. I don't know why I keep asking the questions.
I don't either, honestly.
Oh, God.
I don't know either. Yeah, so that is what I read. And then what I'm going to actually recap on the next episode is The Seduction of Viscount Vice.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a historical with, it's a Regency times. It's in England times. And it also involves a pleasure club and a hero who's into exhibitionism.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So yeah, I'm really excited to be back and like doing this thing again.
Me too.
I'm a little worried about how we're gonna do it with Valor eating all the time, but
she'll be fine.
Work through it. Yeah,
we'll stop eating after a while, right?
Yeah.
She'll be self-sustaining soon.
In about 18 years.
Yeah.
No, in like 12 years.
12 years, she'll be able to pop in an Easy Mac and make it work. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Erin. Oh, wait. They can find us on places.
Yes.
We have not been plugging social media.
No, we haven't been doing anything. Okay, guys. You can find us. We have a website, heavingbosoms.com. It's behind. It's my fault.
Whatever.
But you can find the Reading Embrace. You can find our Patreon on there if you want to get bonus content, if you want to hear Melody really gross me out about her birth. And this week we're talking about Chris Pine's penis and some other things.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, you can get it through the website. Shut up. You can get it through the website. Also, we're at Heaving Bosoms on Instagram, at Heaving_Bosoms on Twitter. Heaving Bosoms Podcast on Facebook. Our Facebook group is the Heaving Bosoms Podcast Geriatric Friendship Cult. And you can email us at heavingbosospodcast@gmail.com. And we might not respond, but we will read it.
Yeah.
We're kind of the worst lately, but we will read it and we will smile and we will be happy that you emailed us. So, all right. Do you have any left?
So I do. I have several. One of them is, actually, here it is. Oh boy. Here it is. My lady love is review books, especially if you're a Kindle reader. Just flip to the last page. It'll give you an option to review it right through your Kindle or right through the Kindle app. So it goes to Amazon. Tell people what you think about every single book you read, even if it's 3 sentences, even if you say, love it, can't wait to read the next one from this author or whatever. Review them, because I didn't realize, it's so dumb of me, but I didn't realize how much that impacts like Amazon ratings and all that kind of thing. So show the ladies that are putting their hearts and soul on the page what awesome people they are.
And boys. Sometimes boys.
Yeah. And sometimes boys. Sorry. Yeah, that's totally right.
And sometimes theys. It doesn't matter. Gender does not matter. Put
that's
the
right.
thing on the thing.
The people who are putting their hearts and souls on the page, star them up. Get those reviews out there and
put the thing on the thing and do it.
Yeah, do it, because it really helps, and the authors read them. So especially if you have something good to say about the book, it'll really brighten someone's day. Support artists.
Yeah, mine's dark. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So Melody and I both had eventful maternity leaves for another reason. So I went to Hawaii. I came back. We got in at like 2 a.m. and my parents were supposed to leave the next day. And I got a call the next morning from my mom that my dad had a heart attack and I had to get on a plane and go back to Maui the next day. And then I ended up being there another 5 days or so. But guys, my dad went into cardiac arrest in his hotel room. My mother, who took a CPR class maybe 30 years ago, did CPR on my dad for 10 solid minutes. It was timed, and kept him alive for 10 minutes just with CPR. So if you are a person in the world who exists in the world, go
around other people.
Just Google it. Like, it's not, I heard an NPR story not long ago about somebody who had never had a CPR class who just like knew it was to the tune of staying alive and knew you had to keep pushing on somebody's chest. And they kept somebody alive for a long time, too. It's like, I don't want to say it's not hard because it is hard, but it's not hard to figure out. Like, just Google it, look at where you're supposed to put your hands and what you're supposed to do. And lately they've been teaching not to do the mouth breathing portion of CPR. But the reason that they're teaching that is they're worried that strangers won't perform it on other strangers if they think they have to do that. So that's part of it, too. Just like learn CPR, even like a surface level way, do it because it can really impact the world.
Yeah. Your mom is the baddest of asses.
All these people in the hospital kept coming in and being like, we heard about you. Like, my husband told this nurse who told this doctor, like, we want to shake your hand. It was incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad your dad's doing better.
Yours too.
Yeah, because my stepdad also had a crazy health scare. He had brain surgery over my maternity leave, so that was super fun. I did not go back because I was 87 years pregnant. But
don't do CPR on a brain.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
But my mom heard him slurring his words and was immediately like, I'm driving home to come get you. We're taking you to the hospital right now. And they think that he was... Moms, man. Moms, so
get
great.
After it, moms.
I know. All right. So, keeping a badass.
Love yourself as much as you love your 3-inch long nipples.
And love yourself as much as Valor loves my 3-inch long nipples.
Fair. And she clearly does. She's like...
So true. All right. I love you tons. I'm glad we're back.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.